It was a Sunday morning, quiet and soft. Ramona sat across from me at our kitchen table, her hands wrapped around a warm cup of coffee. 2 years of peace. 2 years without the phone calls that used to make her flinch. Then the phone rang. Unknown number. I watched Ramona glance at the screen and her face went pale. Just a phone call, but her whole body tensed like she was bracing for impact. To understand why, I need to take you back to where it all began. Before we dive in, let me know where you are watching from today. Drop your location in the comments. If you have ever had to protect someone you love from their own family, hit that like button and subscribe to this channel. Stay with me through this one. It might feel painfully familiar. I met Ramona 8 years ago at a small art exhibition downtown. She was standing in front of a painting, not saying a word, just absorbing every detail like she was having a private conversation with the canvas. I introduced myself and she smiled, but there was something cautious behind her eyes. Something I could not name yet. Over the next few weeks, I noticed little things about her. She apologized constantly. For everything. If she laughed too loud, she apologized. If she had an opinion that differed from mine, she apologized before sharing it. If she took the last piece of bread at dinner, she apologized twice. At first, I thought she was just polite. But it was more than that. It was like she had been trained to believe her existence was an inconvenience. One evening, I asked her to dinner. She said yes, but then she paused and pulled out her phone. She called, someone spoke in a low voice, and only after that conversation did she confirm our date. It was strange. She was a grown woman, a talented graphic designer with her own apartment and career. Why did she need permission to have dinner with someone I did not ask? Not then. But I filed it away in my mind. 3 months into dating, Ramona invited me to meet her family. I was nervous, the way anyone would be wanting to make a good impression. We drove to her parents' house in the suburbs, a nice 2-story home with a manicured lawn. Everything looked perfect from the outside. Inside, I met Serena for the first time. Ramona had mentioned she had a twin sister, but nothing could have prepared me for the reality of seeing them together. They looked almost identical. Same dark hair, same brown eyes, same delicate features. But the energy between them was completely different. Serena filled the room the moment she walked in. She talked loudly, laughed at her own jokes, commanded attention from everyone present. Ramona shrank beside her like a shadow. Throughout dinner, Serena dominated every conversation. She talked about her job, her recent vacation, her plans to redecorate her living room. When Ramona tried to share something about a project she was working on, Serena cut her off mid-sentence. Oh, Ramona always exaggerates. Do not mind her. Everyone laughed. Ramona laughed too, but it was hollow. I watched her parents nod along with Serena, hanging on her every word. They barely looked at Ramona. It was like she was invisible in her own family home. On the drive back, I asked Ramona if she was okay. She said she was fine. She always said she was fine. As the months passed, I began to notice a pattern. Every time we visited her family, Ramona changed. She became quieter, more anxious, more apologetic. And Serena always had something to say. Little comments that seemed harmless on the surface, but cut deep underneath. You are wearing that dress. It is a bit tight, is it not? Oh, you got a promotion. That is cute. I just closed a deal worth 6 figures. Ramona, you should really do something about your hair. It looks so flat today. Each comment was delivered with a smile, sometimes even a laugh, so anyone watching would think it was just sisterly teasing. But I saw how Ramona absorbed every word, how she examined herself in mirrors afterward, how she questioned her own worth. The worst was at Ramona's birthday party. We were at her parents' house, surrounded by relatives. Serena handed Ramona a gift, wrapped beautifully in gold paper. Ramona opened it to find a sweater. A nice sweater, except it was 2 sizes too large. I thought you might have gained weight, Serena said sweetly. Better safe than sorry, right? Everyone laughed. Ramona laughed too, holding up the oversized sweater like it was a trophy of her own inadequacy. But when I looked at her eyes, they were empty, completely dead. That night in the car, Ramona finally cried. Not dramatic sobs, just silent tears rolling down her cheeks as she stared out the window. I pulled over and held her, not knowing what to say. What could I say? Her own family had spent years making her feel small, and she had accepted it as normal. Later that week, I asked Ramona about her relationship with Serena. We were sitting on her couch, and she was quiet for a long time before answering. "We are twins," she said. "But Serena came out 5 minutes before me." 5 minutes. And somehow that made her the older sister. The responsible one. The one my parents were proud of. She told me how Serena always got the better of everything. The better school, the better car, the better bedroom. When Serena wanted something Ramona had, she got it. When Ramona achieved something, it was minimized. When Serena achieved the same thing, it was celebrated. I asked her why she accepted it. Ramona shrugged, her eyes distant. "I'm used to it. That is just how it is." Those words broke something in me, because I realized this was not Ramona's natural personality. This was the result of 30 years of conditioning. 30 years of being told she was less than. And she had believed it so deeply that she could not imagine anything different. 2 years after we started dating, I proposed to Ramona. She said yes with tears in her eyes, and for a moment I saw the woman she could be without the weight of her family pressing down on her. Happy. Free. Hopeful. That hope did not last long. The moment Serena found out about the engagement, she inserted herself into every aspect of the wedding planning. She demanded to be the maid of honor. Ramona agreed, not wanting to cause conflict. Then Serena started making decisions without consulting anyone. She chose the venue, the flowers, the color scheme. When Ramona gently suggested an alternative, Serena dismissed her. "You do not have good taste, Ramona. Let me handle this." The bridesmaid dresses were the final straw for me, though not for Ramona. Serena chose dresses in ivory. Not cream, not champagne. Ivory. Almost white. Almost identical to Ramona's wedding dress. When Ramona pointed this out, Serena burst into tears. Actual tears. She accused Ramona of being selfish, of not appreciating everything Serena was doing for her, of always trying to make Serena look bad. Within an hour, Ramona's parents called. Her mother's voice was sharp with disappointment. "How could you make your sister cry before your wedding? What is wrong with you?" Ramona apologized. She apologized for having an opinion about her own wedding. I wanted to intervene to tell them all exactly what I thought, but Ramona stopped me. "Please," she whispered. "It is not worth the fight." So the bridesmaids wore ivory. And at our wedding, Serena gave a speech that lasted 15 minutes. 15 minutes of talking about herself, her childhood memories, her accomplishments. She mentioned Ramona twice. Once to say how Ramona was lucky to have found someone. Once to joke about how Ramona was always the quiet one. Everyone laughed. Everyone except me. After the wedding, things got worse. With me in Ramona life, Serena seemed to feel her control slipping. She escalated her tactics, becoming more subtle but more vicious. At a dinner party with Ramona colleagues, Serena casually mentioned a secret Ramona had shared with her years ago. Something personal and embarrassing. She told it like it was a funny story, laughing as Ramona's face turned red. Ramona had to excuse herself to the bathroom, where I found her hyperventilating. On Ramona's birthday, Serena posted old photos on social media. Not nice photos. Awkward photos from Ramona's teenage years when she had acne and braces and bad haircuts. The caption read, "Throwback to when we were young. Happy birthday to my twin who has not changed a bit." Hundreds of people saw those photos. People Ramona worked with. People she respected. Serena claimed it was just a joke when confronted. She accused Ramona of being too sensitive. "You are always so dramatic," Serena said with a sigh. "It is exhausting." This was the pattern. Serena would do something hurtful, then gaslight Ramona into believing she was overreacting. It happened so often that Ramona started to doubt her own feelings. Maybe she was too sensitive. Maybe she was the problem. I watched my wife slowly lose herself. The confident woman I had seen glimpses of was disappearing, replaced by someone who second-guessed every thought, every feeling, every decision. Then came Thanksgiving 2 years after our wedding. We drove to her parents' house like we always did. Ramona was nervous but also excited. For the first time in years, she had good news to share. She had been promoted to senior designer at her company, a significant achievement, a recognition of her talent and hard work. At dinner, Ramona waited for the right moment. When there was a pause in conversation, she cleared her throat. "I have some news," she said. "I got promoted last week." For a split second, her parents looked at her. Really looked at her. I saw hope flicker in Ramona's eyes. Then Serena spoke. "Oh, that is nice. Anyway, Derek and I have bigger news." She paused, dramatically enjoying the attention. "I am pregnant." The table erupted. Her mother screamed with joy. Her father stood up to hug Serena. Derek, Serena's husband, beamed with pride. Everyone was talking, laughing, crying, happy tears. No one mentioned Ramona's promotion again. No one even looked at her. Her mother, in the middle of the chaos, turned to Ramona briefly. "Ramona, you should focus on having children too. A job is just a job." Ramona sat frozen for the rest of dinner. She did not eat. She did not speak. She just sat there, invisible once again, while her family celebrated Serena. On the drive home, I noticed Ramona was trembling. Her hands were shaking so badly she could barely hold her phone. "I have spent my whole life waiting for them to see me," she whispered. "They never will." That night she cried until there were no tears left. I held her until she fell asleep from exhaustion, her body limp against mine. And I knew something had to change. Over the next few weeks, Ramona was different, quieter, more introspective. She started reading books about toxic family dynamics. She joined online forums where people shared similar experiences. She started to recognize patterns she had never seen before. One evening, she came to me with a decision. "I need to go no contact with Serena. And I need to limit contact with my parents." I did not try to talk her out of it. I did not try to convince her to give them another chance. I just held her hand and told her I supported whatever she needed to do. Ramona wrote a long email to Serena. She explained her feelings, set clear boundaries, and stated that she would no longer be available for the relationship. She did not attack or accuse. She simply stated facts and made her position clear. Serena's response was immediate and explosive. She called Ramona's phone 17 times in 1 hour. She left voicemails that ranged from tearful pleas to angry accusations. "You are being dramatic. This is ridiculous. Call me back right now. Who do you think you are?" Her parents called too. "How can you do this to your own sister? Blood is thicker than water. You are tearing this family apart." Ramona blocked them all. Every number, every social media account, every possible avenue of contact. For the first time in her life, she chose herself. I was proud of her, but I also knew this was only the beginning. The first year of no contact was transformative. Ramona slept better than she had in years. The dark circles under her eyes faded. She smiled more often, laughed more freely. Her work flourished without the constant undermining from her sister. She received another promotion, this time to creative director. We bought a small house together, a place that was entirely ours. No memories of Serena's snide comments. No echoes of her parents' dismissive tones. Just us building a life on our own terms. One afternoon, I came home to find Ramona in the spare bedroom. She had set up an easel and was painting. She had not painted since she was 18 years old. When I asked why she stopped, she told me Serena had once said her art was childish and pointless. So she gave it up. Now, 20 years later, she was reclaiming that part of herself. But Serena was not finished. After the baby was born, Serena realized Ramona was not coming to visit. There were no congratulations cards, no gifts, no obligatory aunt visits. For someone like Serena, who thrived on attention and control, this absence was unacceptable. The first attempt at forced reconciliation came through family members. Ramona's cousin forwarded photos of the baby with a message clearly dictated by Serena. "Your niece wants to meet her aunt. Family is everything. Do not let pride keep you from this precious child." Ramona deleted the message. Then came the flying monkeys. Friends and relatives who had been recruited to pressure Ramona into reconciling. Her aunt called to express disappointment. A childhood friend texted saying she had heard about the estrangement and thought it was so sad. Family is everything, they all said. You only get one sister. Blood is thicker than water. Meanwhile, Serena launched a social media campaign. She posted vague quotes about betrayal and loss. She shared throwback photos of herself and Ramona as children, with captions like, "I miss my best friend." She painted herself as the victim of an inexplicable abandonment. Some people forget where they came from. Blood means nothing to them. The comments were full of sympathy for Serena. No one knew the truth. No one asked for Ramona's side of the story. One evening, Serena showed up at Ramona's favorite coffee shop. She claimed it was a coincidence, but I knew better. She had been tracking Ramona's social media looking for locations. Serena rushed over and hugged Ramona like nothing had happened. "I miss you so much," she said loudly, making sure everyone in the cafe heard. "Let us forget everything. We are sisters. We need each other." Ramona pulled away, gently, but firmly. "I am not ready for that," she said. Serena's face changed instantly. The warm smile vanished, replaced by something cold and hard. "You always were the selfish one," she hissed. Ramona walked away without looking back. I have never been prouder of her, but the attempts continued, escalated. And then came the night they showed up at our house. It was a Thursday evening. We were watching a movie, relaxed and comfortable. The doorbell rang. I was not expecting anyone, so I checked the peephole before opening. My stomach dropped. Serena stood on our porch. Behind her was Derek holding the baby. And behind them were Ramona's parents. An ambush. I opened the door, but blocked the entrance with my body. "What are you doing here?" I asked. Serena pushed past my question. "We came to fix this family. Ramona needs to stop this nonsense." Ramona's father stepped forward, his face stern. "We are not leaving until you two make up." I called for Ramona. She came to the door and I watched the color drain from her face when she saw them. But she did not run. She did not hide. She stood beside me and faced them. Serena launched into her performance. Tears welled in her eyes as she talked about missing her twin, about wanting her daughter to know her aunt, about how family was everything and Ramona was destroying it. Her mother joined in. "Ramona, look at your sister. She is trying. Why cannot you meet her halfway?" Ramona took a deep breath. When she spoke, her voice was calm and steady. "Serena, do you know why I left?" Serena rolled her eyes. "Because you are overdramatic as always." "No." Ramona shook her head slowly. "Because for 30 years you made me feel invisible. Every achievement I had you minimized. Every joy I felt you overshadowed. Every tear I cried you called dramatic. You humiliated me at my own wedding. You shared my secrets to embarrass me. You posted those photos to hurt me. And every single time you made me believe I was the problem." The porch went silent. I watched Ramona's parents exchange glances. They had never heard this before. Or maybe they had never listened. Serena tried to interrupt. "That is not how it happened. You are twisting everything." Ramona did not flinch. "I am not asking you to agree with me. I am not asking for an apology. I am simply telling you why I am done." Serena lost control. Her face contorted with anger, the mask finally slipping. "You are ruining this family," she shouted. "Everything was fine until you decided to be a victim. You are pathetic. You have always been pathetic." Ramona's voice remained steady. "No, Serena. I am not ruining this family. I am saving myself." I closed the door. Through the window, I watched Derek pull Serena toward their car as she continued to shout. Her mother was crying. Her father stood frozen, speechless for the first time I had ever seen. That night Ramona did not cry. She sat on our couch, quiet and still, but there was something different about her. A weight had lifted. She had finally said everything she needed to say, and she did not need them to understand. She just needed to speak her truth. In the weeks that followed, things shifted in unexpected ways. Ramona's mother sent a text message. It was short, just a few words. "I am sorry I did not see it sooner." It was not a full apology. It did not erase 30 years of neglect. But it was an acknowledgement, the first one Ramona had ever received. She did not respond, but she saved the message. Serena continued her victim narrative online, but fewer people believed it now. Those who had witnessed her outburst on our porch had seen a glimpse of the real Serena. Derek, according to mutual acquaintances, had started asking questions about his wife's behavior. The perfect image Serena had cultivated was beginning to crack. But Ramona did not celebrate any of this. She did not want revenge or vindication. She just wanted peace. She started seeing a therapist who specialized in family trauma. The sessions were difficult at first. Ramona had spent her entire life suppressing her emotions, convincing herself that her pain was not valid. Learning to trust her own feelings again was a slow and painful process. There were nights when she woke from nightmares, her heart racing, convinced she had done something wrong by walking away. I held her through those nights and reminded her of the truth. She was not wrong. She was not selfish. She was surviving. Slowly, the nightmares became less frequent. The anxiety eased. Ramona started to rebuild herself piece by piece. She opened a small online gallery to sell her paintings. The first one sold within a week. When it happened, she turned to me with this look of disbelief. "Someone paid money for my art," she said. "Someone thinks it has value." I watched her realize, maybe for the first time, that she had value too. She did not call her family to share the news. Instead, she called a friend she had made at a local art class, someone who had never met Serena, someone who knew Ramona only as she was, now not as the diminished version her family had created. She was building a new family, a chosen family. People who saw her celebrated her and never made her feel small. 2 years have passed since that night on the porch. Our life is quiet now, in the best possible way. Ramona and I have dinner together most nights. We take walks in the evening. She paints in her studio on weekends. We have friends who feel more like family than her blood relatives ever did. Her parents reach out occasionally. The relationship is complicated, but it is improving slowly. They visit sometimes without Serena, and Ramona has noticed small changes. Her mother listens more. Her father asks questions about her life. They are trying imperfectly to see the daughter they overlooked for so long. Ramona has not spoken to Serena since that night. She does not plan to. Forgiveness, she has learned, does not require reconciliation. She can release the anger without opening the door again. Sometimes the phone still rings with unknown numbers. It might be Serena trying a new tactic. Ramona does not answer. Last week we were sitting on our porch watching the sunset. Ramona turned to me and said something I will never forget. "I am proud of myself." There was no surprise in her voice. No qualification. No waiting for permission. Just a simple statement of truth. I learned something important through all of this. Cutting off family is not punishment. It is protection. Sometimes the people who share your blood are the ones who drain it. And choosing yourself, walking away from toxicity even when the world tells you family is everything, is not selfish. It is survival. Ramona did not win by getting revenge on Serena. She won by finding peace, by learning to see herself clearly without the distorted mirror her family had held up for 30 years. By building a life where she is visible, valued, and free. So I will leave you with this question. What would you choose? Familiar pain or unfamiliar peace? If this story resonated with you, I would love to hear your thoughts. Have you ever had to distance yourself from a toxic family member? How did you find your peace? Share your experience in the comments below. And if you found value in this story, please hit that like button and subscribe to this channel for more stories like this. Share it with someone who might need to hear that choosing themselves is not selfish. Thank you for staying until the end. I hope wherever you are, you have the courage to choose peace. Take care of yourself and remember your worth is not determined by the people who failed to see it.